This
This
conference will now be recorded.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with our annual board meeting. Okay, bear with me. As far as, let's see, the first move is to adopt village rules of order. You all read that. Do I have a motion to accept that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, appointments. Deputy Mayor will be Peter Holdery. Village Clerk, Anita Estlin. Village Treasurer, Indy Goodell. Deputy Village Treasurer and Clerk, Tracy Hathaway. Department of Public Works, Superintendent Brad Hathaway. Village Attorney, Janet Bliss. Village Associate Justice, Dean Dietrich, with annual compensation of $2,000. Deputy Village Court Clerk will be Jennifer Hayes. Administrative Committee will be Peter Holdery and Mark Galvin. Joint Youth Commission Liaison will be Jason Leon. Village Historian will be Karen Fountain at a compensation of $1,000 a year. Village Audit Committee will be the entire board. Local Government Liaisons will be myself, Art Devlin, and Peter Holdery. Joint Town and Village Community Development Board, Art Devlin and Jackie Kelly. Lead Committee, Jackie Kelly. Community Development, Jackie Kelly. Land Code Review, Jackie Kelly. I think I got stuff. LPBA Liaison, Mark Galvin. And Main Street Reconstruction, Mark Galvin. I have a motion to accept those appointments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Commissioner appointments. Myself, Art Devlin, and, two here, okay, sorry. Department of Public Works will be Trustee Peter Holdery and Jason Leon. And Public Safety is myself, Art Devlin, and Jackie Kelly. I have a motion to accept those appointments.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
As well. Said trustees may receive annual salary services as trustee commissioner of Lake Placid in the following amounts. It will be mayor, $6,801.04. Trustees, $5,456.40. Do I have a motion?
Okay. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That's gross, just for everyone.
It's not Okay, procedural items, if you'd like, I can read all those to you. You all have them.
I thought you were actually asking.
Okay, so a motion to accept our procedural items.
What are the procedural items? Sorry.
That's okay. Then the village board approves. Do you want me to read them all?
Yeah, I just got two.
Okay, it's the village annual approves permits for horse carriage rides, dog sled rides, similar enterprise events. Do you want me to read all those?
It's just record management.
Are you talking about,
That's village policies.
Village policies.
yeah, this is the procedural item.
Okay.
So you want me to read
It's the
those?
same every year. You've approved them all up in previous years.
I'll talk about two.
Okay, so under those, if you don't want me to read them, then a motion to accept the procedural items.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now under procedural items, what two would you like to talk about, Peter?
Record management committee. I mean, we've never had a record management committee. Unless we should, it talks about how to select the record management committee, but perhaps we should just make it the full board. It's, I mean, we don't use it, we never have used it, I don't know why we have it.
Well, so I believe that grew out of a few years ago. Ellen was still clerk and we got a grant to create that whole records room.
Yes.
And so I'm like the records officer. We follow policies that were recommended by New York State to follow based on us having gotten the grant. I don't know how much of a committee we need. There's not much from my perspective that that decisions need to be made on.
The question is, are we hiring
We need oversight.
I mean, the policy says we're required to have this committee, but we've never had this committee.
Okay, well, it doesn't mean at this point we have to do it, but let's make a note.
I'll look into what that means, I can ask.
And put it in a workshop so that we
Okay.
can discuss it.
Sure,
Because we can always have it. What
absolutely.
was your second?
The procurement policy.
Okay.
Well, a lot of things, but one of them is Public Works, $35,000 before we have to go to bid.
Okay.
To create a bid document, it's very time consuming, it costs a ton of money just to create it, to go to bid. Two competitive, three competitive contractors. For $35,000, you're unlikely to get any people bidding because it's so onerous just to bid by all the rules that are required by New York State.
But that's state law.
Yeah, I was just saying the dollar amount to trigger that is $35,000 doesn't buy much of anything nowadays. I think we should just talk about maybe raising it. I mean, in my memory, the only time we've ever used it was Main Street bathrooms at the MBT lot.
I think once again, that should be something that we'll make a note, we'll bring that up in a workshop
Yeah.
and discuss what we can and can't do. What's appropriate.
No, we're just there all the time.
Yeah,
Right, but he's talking about what amount triggers you going out to bid.
Right.
It's just-
But that, we got more than that. That's law.
That one sits up by the state, okay.
Yeah.
35,000.
The dollar amount set by the state.
I don't think we raised it. Wasn't it 10,000 when we raised it once upon a time?
Why don't we just?
Over the course of the last decade?
Yeah, let's
I think it was
see
very,
what we can and can't do.
Yeah, maybe it's an arbitrary decision based on the municipality.
Maybe there are state rules as far as how low it can be or how high it can be, but
I mean, it could be different for villages versus
Right.
whatever the category area is.
Yeah. I mean, we got lucky on this shop because it was basically three different contractors, right? There was one contractor, we would have had to go to bid.
yeah.
But technically,
So like,
if it's one project with three different contractors, it still needs to go to bid.
That's correct.
Oops.
so let's look into that. Let's see what we can and can't do.
$35,000 is so little to trigger that, which makes it more expensive. Because they have to get all the money back for all the time that they used to. bid. No, I think that was good.
Okay, like I said, if we pass our policies the way they are tonight, once we have a change, we just change the policy. That's not the
I'm
end.
just asking to talk about it. I just think it's too low, that's all.
Okay,
I do remember changing.
do we know what policy the village board has, or if you got through questions? Or do you want me just to, or we can just pass them taking the flag hanging policy out? You guys all got them in front of you, or would you like me to read them?
I don't, I don't.
so are you asking us to approve it and then the regular meeting, we'll just amend the policy that we just passed?
Yeah, the one that we have to pull out is the flag hanging policy, because we're going to amend that tonight.
Actually, we'll amend it right after
Yes.
you
right after
approve
this.
all the others.
But the rest of them for now we'll approve, because we just don't have the information we need. You know, that would have had to been brought to us before this, so we'll have to go and look and see what we can and can't do. So do you have all the other policies? Would you like me to read them all?
No.
Okay, very good. So taking the flag hanging policy out, I'd like to have a motion to approve those village procedures or policies.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Yes, it passes. Okay. So now I need to ask for a motion to amend the flag hanging policy and change it from 25 to 35
Yep, that's right. Per flag.
per flag.
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes as well. Okay, so that does pass that.
Yep,
policy.
Yep, so we don't have to do it in the regular.
Okay, then medium bank designation. Um, Okay. Okay, on motion by, the board designates Lake Placid News and Daily Enterprise as official newspapers in the village of Lake Placid. Designates radio station WSLP 100.7 Lake FM as official radio station in the village for a period of 1 year. Do I have a motion to,
I'll make the motion.
in a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we resolved to designate NBT Bank, Champlain Bank, Adirondack Bank, Community Bank, and NICLAS as depositories for the funds of Placid Incorporated for 1 year as provided for in section 4-412, parentheses, 3 and 2 of municipal law. I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up at our annual organizational meeting? Okay. We need to close that, correct?
Yep.
So if we have a motion to close the organizational,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And do not need a motion to open.
Nope, you can just declare it.
During the regular meeting. I need an approval for the village board minutes for March 21st.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And minutes from the village special board meeting on March 23rd.
So. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. On the flag hanging. Approval of the water department part-time hire. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, people that have retired and come back, it's every year that we need to reaffirm that they're going to be part-time. In this case, it'd be the rehiring of Ricky Morford.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And fire department surplus. What were they?
The air pack cylinders, the previous ones before we got the new ones, so 58 Scott air pack cylinders to be declared surplus so that they can be,
So 30 minutes versus 45.
And I agree.
Nick?
so they can be put out to bid.
So we just need a motion to declare them surplus so they can put them out.
So they're not jetpacks.
No.
So they would get
Just want to be clear.
You wouldn't have a problem with volunteers.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and approval of New York Rural Water Annual Technician Training from New York.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And this, how you know, it's spring, Northwood School rowing course request. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anything else? to come from the board?
I do. This one request just came in this afternoon. There's one more CHE tournament. They're asking for hockey flags. They only have 8, not 10. And I would like it to be requested at the old $25 rate because we had an issue with their hanging the last time. So,
Like it didn't go up.
yeah, so to make up for that, we can keep it at 25.
I agree with that.
Are you going to inform all these vendors of the change?
Yes, yeah, as a matter of fact, I already told him today that. as long as- And also, we already were paid for the horse show for this year, and we were paid for a couple more Can-Am tournaments, so I'm assuming they were paid, that's all good, it's only going forward.
Well, do we want to start the new year August 1st?
Well, I think that was just because, it wasn't because of COVID, they didn't.
There were multiple events going on, and there was just a glitch in the electric department.
No, I mean the horse show.
Oh, the horse show, they already paid, it's not those, it's not, they didn't get hung, they pay super early, so we already accepted the payment, so I think
Iron
we wouldn't. you know,
My advice is I
wait
would just leave it that those that paid early got in on the early bird special.
Yeah.
Well, Iron Man hangs flags, right?
Right, but they didn't prepay like the horse show, so they'll be.
And Iron Man, I think that's something in their contract, we don't hang Iron Man flags, like,
Not to belabor the point, have we seen an Iron Man contract?
Not yet.
Like, we don't,
I don't have an agreement, they hang the flags, but it's not.
someone does, but it doesn't come through my office.
I mean, they just go up in the middle of the night.
I can ask Kimball. It has never come through.
They just,
We'll have to
Never
look
come
at the
through the
Iron Man
clerk's
contract,
office,
it might be hard. So do we have an approval to hang the Canadian Hockey Enterprises at the old rate?
Yes.
We turned them up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion to approve. Second. Yes.
Yes, I know.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else?
Yeah, this is just an announcement. I got a call today from Tricia Garrett, one of the co-partners in the Beautiful Village Cleanup. They are setting a date for May 14th. So we'll get out more promotional information about that, but you can put it on your calendars, May 14th Village Cleanup, May 21st Rain Date. And that is all.
Great cause. Okay. Anything to come under, oh, sorry, Treasurer, we have approved warrants number 16. We got a chance to look at those. Peter, thank you very much, Peter. Do I have a motion to accept them? All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else to come from Treasury? Okay. Anything under new business? Okay, under old business, I believe all of you were sent the plan from Bill Billerman about Mirror Lake. If you could just read that, get back to Anita, that you're okay with it. And then at that point, Janet, if once we all approve it, we send it to you to write something up and then go to a public hearing, is that correct?
I didn't hear what you said Bill had submitted.
We're talking about Bill Billerman's amendments that he wants to have for speed limit in Paradox Bay and on Mirror Lake and outline certain things. Once we're in agreement, send it to you for your comments.
Yes, and I think we already have speed limits in Paradox Bay, and that required going to the county. I don't think that Mirror Lake would require going to the county, but we have to look at that.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, we're all in agreement with what we've seen, so we'll make sure, you already got that, or do we need to get it to you?
I do not have it.
Yeah, I'll send that to you.
Okay. And then whatever the next procedure is after that. Okay, thank you. Anything else under old business?
There's no problem. Well,
Was it? You're right, it was, yes.
that's not, well, because it's the same rules for Mirror Lake as the other.
Let's go back to everyone, read them, get back to the meeting, and then we'll get them to Jan.
So what is?
Home screen.
I know, I like that, like,
Yeah, it's only 3 little paragraphs. Like I said, you could just review them and send something back to them, then we'll get it to Janet. And if you've got any comments before we send it to Janet, it'd be the time. Take that as a yes.
Yes.
Anything else under old business? Okay, under mayor items, tomorrow's the day I gotta book my grease trip, so I would need approval.
Make a motion to approve your grease trip.
I'll second it. We should have it, but it's grease trip.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any commissioner reports? I think the only big thing that I can think of is the Main Street starting up. I think by now you've got copies of everything that's happening. Everyone knows what's going on.
And I won't be in town for the LPDA meeting next Tuesday, but I'll send out a written report.
Okay, very good.
Unless anyone really wants to go.
The only other thing that's happening right now is Brad reviewing the water plant to make sure that they will be able to have their, he says conceptually, he hasn't finalized with me that they will be getting into the water plant that goes over the Grove University games. So he's going to make sure what he thinks they've proposed is that half of the tanks will be on the old system and half on the new system, but they will work in tandem in case we have a problem and have to move up water pressure. But that's in the works, just to let you know, and we should know shortly. Because if they can't tell us that they're doing that, then we can't allow them to start working on it until after the games are over. So I'll keep you informed. Bring anything else, Commissioner reports?
It's just, you want to understand, the 18th, they're starting, but they're not digging, well, they are, digging. Next week they're starting on the 11th. So there's a one-way,
The 11th,
one-way start on next, on the 11th or the 18th?
the 11th. The detour gets put up on the 11th, they stage everything, and then they're gonna start digging on the 18th.
Okay, so the whole week, there's nothing going on.
Just setting up the detour, getting things ready. And they're gonna be doing saw cuts, remember how they did that before?
Yeah.
And, yeah, and it sounded like from the meeting, that beginning, they said there'll be two teams. There'll be a team over here starting with this water line. There'll be a team up there starting with the road bed. And then also they're going to have Blue Spruce back in. Keep on sleeping.
I missed one.
And getting the, what's that? Yeah, that's it. But like I said, I think I probably get that from the paper, sent them our correspondence.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else under commissioner report? Anything from the public?
What's the grease trip?
It's the World Union of Olympic Cities is having their 20th anniversary since they started. And they were asked for all the executive board members to be there, so I'll be going over representing the village. It's the 22nd to the 25th
Okay.
of May, yes, thank you.
So Peter, you can look at General Municipal Law, Section 103. That sets the threshold for expenditures above which there would need to be competitive bidding.
Okay. So that's-
And there's one for purchasing and there's one for Public Works. Public Works is the 35,000, I believe, and purchasing is 20,000. There are some exceptions, but not many.
So we're where we need to be.
If you look up the state's regulations, it is 50,000, but municipal law is not. It's fine.
Janet, what law is that again? Municipal law?
General Municipal Law, Section 103. One of the exceptions is if you've standardized equipment. I know that we have standardized fire hydrants, for example. The other is professional services is an exception. But it's pretty strict. If you are going to, you can't just say, well, we're spending $10,000 on this and 15,000 on this, so we aren't going to, and then 10 on another. If it's going to aggregate over the thresholds within 12 months, you've got to bid it. And there's also separate rules for if you're bidding on a building,
Professional services written right in there.
So that, is that 20?
No, it's professional services, we don't have to fit it.
We don't have to.
It's written in the policy.
I don't know if it's you or Jackie, website migration. How's that going?
Working on it.
So swimmingly.
Oh,
I was told at the town board meeting, going to be, we're on the timetable specified by the company. However,
Which means what?
said timetable is,
6 months, so.
it's a longer, it's a long transition.
It's a
6 months from when? When was the start date?
from, start date was when we signed the contract. So was that a month ago?
Yeah.
So that was a month ago. We have meetings every week.
There are a lot of details to go into. It's not just flip a switch and everything goes over. There's a lot going on.
I don't doubt it, just.
So, yeah, we have meetings.
They're kind of sensitive about it.
No, we're not. So there are meetings weekly. We have a wireframe that Kate has put together. We meet with Revise.
Right.
Every
Sometimes with
Thursday.
them, sometimes without, sometimes it's just
Right.
us making decisions on our end.
So it's moving. I mean, it's moving as fast as it can. Yes.
Yeah, end product would be a combined.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Emily's a part of it for the town, and Haley represents both village and town.
And what is they mentioned some odd potential URL names, and I think that was something that probably should be thought, because it was like North Elba and like just really a convoluted URL, which probably.
But it's not. I mean, we talked,
www.lakeplazanorthelba.governments.com, like, I think we have to,
we wanted a .gov address.
Yeah, Tone, LP, like that.
It could be, but unfortunately that's taken.
Oh.
And that's why it's North Elba, Lake Placid.
And North Elba is more than just Lake Placid, so we don't, Emily felt strongly, and I agree with her, that it can't just be about Lake Placid, because it's their site.
I'm not saying it should be.
It's whose site?
It's also.
Lake Placid is the recognizable name. Nobody knows North Elba.
That
You're gonna do a search, you're gonna search for Lake Placid.
Well, and I don't know.
There we go, right?
Let's do Timbuktu.
Have you ever? heard
We're
of
all,
the
you know,
town
we're brainstorming.
someone asked where they're from, saying from North Elba?
No.
Seriously.
So, thank you. I know-
People who live in Raybrook and Saranac Lake say,
Well, I understand and respect my constituents over there, however.
I'm sure if you bring up, punch in Lake Placid, it will bring up the websites and you can find it. Yes, I'm sure. No doubt. Okay. Anything else, Lauren, or you good? If you have any other questions on my trip you recently had to give you an itinerary, just give me a. Too easy. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're so close, guys.
Aye.
26 minutes.
It was beautiful.